Ryan Salazar here with Broadcast Beat Magazine, and I've got a very special guest. I've known him for probably about 8 years or so, James McKenna from Facilis. How you doing, James?
Great, Ryan. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. So what have you guys been up to? You got some product releases and things happening?
Yeah, NAB, we announced a few pretty cool things. One of which is my favorite. It includes SSDs, basically solid-state drives. There's still a virtual volume aspect of the system, allows us to create volumes across either groups of SSDs or hard drives, spinning hard drives. So we have really the best of both worlds. Very fast storage, but low capacity, very high capacity storage, and still ultra fast with our shared file system and multiple sharing methods to work with. We also did a 2U 8D system, which is a 16 terabyte full turnkey unit for low end and lower budget facilities. And along with those new products, we also are introducing our Fast Tracker. And Fast Tracker is basically an asset tracking application that lives on the server itself, so you don't need an outboard workstation to run it, a Mac or a PC. And it basically allows you to catalog. It allows you to add metadata to your clips for easy searchability. Drag and drop them to your application and use them directly out of the search window. So it gives you that sort of layer above the file system, layer above that simple file system search, and it gives you the ability to separate catalogs out by permission. So you have another layer of management there that you can apply for facilities running on a project basis.
Jim, most people are still doing 1080 HD production, right? I mean, how has 4K and beyond acquisition affected the post market to date, and how are people handling it?
Well, 4K acquisition is really affecting everything throughout post. A lot of people are still delivering on HD, but they're shooting on 4K just to get a little more latitude in the shot to be able to reposition and resize how they need to. And that's helping out the post producers and the editors quite a bit. So it's helpful to have that native format all the way through post. A lot of people are still delivering and shooting on HD, and you want to be sure that you're buying technology that allows you to maintain your HD edge and the HD affordability that you have running compressed HD jobs. But you also need to be able to prepare for that 4K and 5K, 6K, and beyond, even to 8K.
Okay, back in the old days, there was an offline and online process because finishing systems cost as much as a house. And are we heading for that again with the UHD spec going up to 8K someday?
Well, we've gotten a lot better at compression, and processors have gotten a lot better in the clients, and so we're able to really push very high quality images through without pushing all the way up to uncompressed. The way it was when HD started, of course, you only had uncompressed, and the compressed codecs weren't very good, so you ended up having to deliver uncompressed for the most part, especially networks. So what we have today is, with 4K, still sort of up in the air, but we do have a lot of people that run compressed all the way through, ProRes, now the new DNxHR codecs, really can be used all the way through until you get to the point where you have a high-end job that requires that decompressed footage, that debayered footage directly out of the camera, or the bayered footage out of the camera, to debayer it and decompress it in the color grading suite to enable the best latitude and the best control over the video they possibly can. And that's still a part of the workflow. So we need to prepare for that very high bandwidth work being part of what most facilities are doing, while still maintaining that 1080i overall workflow.
I get that Facilis makes high performance storage, and a lot of other players in the market would say that theirs is high performance too. But what makes you guys different than the other storage companies?
Well, our high performance is as high as anybody's, but it's sustained, and we can perform at a very high level, all the way to 100% of our performance capability, even at 100% full. And this is based on the virtualization of the block level of the drive set. It's a very technical aspect of the system, but it's a very unique aspect as well, because nobody else is really doing this. And if the sand manufacturer isn't talking to you about how much you need to leave empty at the end of the sand and not fill it up in order to maintain the highest performance, then you're going to find out later that that's what you have to do. With TerraBlock, not necessary. We go all the way to 100% full at 100% capacity. And it's really not as much about, hey, you get 15, 20% overhead that you wouldn't have with other systems. It's really all about that job comes through the door, you can do it. You don't need to worry about archiving, blowing away media, blowing away someone's project that might still be in use because you need to bring in this job. And so that's really the most important thing. And it's something you'll find a lot of our customers talk about in their case studies.
And I actually am personally a user of Facilis Block, as you know, and I find it very useful. And there are a lot of cool security features that you guys have for, with multi-user read-write and then the read-only features and things like that. And so I'm very impressed by your product, and the announcement of the 8D, I assume, opens up to the smaller market as well, like a smaller facility in this case, right?
Yeah, I mean, the 8D really is all about bringing that sort of TerraBlock technology, the turnkey system, shared file system, emulation mode for Avid project management tools, all that glue that glues together your workflow and enables advanced workflows. All of those things together, is what makes up the TerraBlock. And the 8D is just a small example of that. It's a lower priced example, 16 terabytes, maxed out at a fully populated 8 drive unit, and 4-way team of 1 gig out the back, and that's how it goes out. And that's really the most cost-effective method of attaching clients is via 1 gig Ethernet. And for any of the compressed HD, even some of the compressed 4K resolutions, these are all fine. I mean, the 1 gig attachment works very well. So you're going to find that for under $10,000, there's nothing else out there that really can compete with a fully turnkey TerraBlock system from Facilis Technology, maker of what always has been PM SAN systems, down at this level where a lot of the smaller facilities can actually come up with the budget to do this.
In the case of your type of storage system, it's shared storage, of course, but it gives them the ability to use the same source files, if you will, and then and take up less storage, I guess. It's more efficient,
Yeah, well, and we've always talked about the sort of the three-pronged approach to storage. And the first one that's easy for everyone to get their head around is centralization, right? If you have a lot of storage assets, you have a lot of drives, you want to centralize everything under one roof, and you want to keep it all in one place. It's safe, vibration-free. You can manage it. You can protect it all as one asset, and that's what, of course, what TerraBlock gives you. The second one is migration, and when you're able to migrate or able to move from room to room and still access the same volumes, the same drive, the same media, the same projects, even whether it be a lower-end suite or the high-end color suite, depending on who's paying what for your time today, you can do that. And that's sort of that migration idea of being able to move around, not be tied down to a desktop. And then finally, the collaboration. Collaboration is sort of the end result and what you really want out of a SAN and what we offer with our shared file system. And that's the ability to share the same files at the same time among multiple artists. So you're doing a few things here. You're putting more people against the job to hopefully hit that deadline a little quicker. You're putting more creative talent against the job to hopefully, stir up some ideas about how the design and how the product should look. And in the end, you're really increasing the quality of the product overall. And you're able to take on the jobs that you really couldn't otherwise. Someone comes in with a need for a 5-room job for a quick turnaround. If you don't have shared storage, you're not doing that job, or you're spending a lot of time after hours copying between workstations. Thank
you so much for spending your afternoon with us and chatting about Facilis Technology. Very impressed by your product.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. I appreciate your time, and good luck with everything at Broadcast Speed. It's going great.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.